Hi guys, in this video we're gonna be doing a piano tutorial on the song Sunflower by Post Malone. Check it out. My name is Diego from the Hit Music Studio, and in this channel we regularly do song tutorials and videos with tips and techniques to get you guys to learn music the fastest and the easiest way possible. So please consider subscribing. Let's go to a close-up of the piano so we can get started. So pretty excited to teach you guys this song. I do believe it's a cool song. It shows a little bit like that whoever wrote it knows a little bit about harmony. So let's get started with the left hand. The left hand you're going to be doing almost every time that you play the root of the chord. That's the note that gives the chord its name. You're going to be playing it 4 times. So D, D, then 2 more Ds. Then quickly we have 2 passing notes, E and F sharp. So quickly we go E, F sharp, G, and then do the same pattern on the Gs. So again, if I do that first, like section, 2 more Ds. Now it's important to mention this, you're not playing on the second bar, you're not playing on 1 and 2, you're actually doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So a little trick that you can have with that, which is somewhat advanced, is to count out loud. Say the counts 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So count that way, saying all of those syllables, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the D's and the G's for the next section are going to be on the second measure. They're going to be on the ands. So it's going to sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's important to learn how to do that, and the best tip that I have is go ahead and count out loud super slow, and make sure that when you're saying the second syllable right after 1 and the second syllable right after 2, so 1 and 2 and, that you're actually pushing the keys at that moment, and that will make it correct. Now on the, I guess, 4th bar, you're doing 2 more passing notes, are going to be A and B to the E. So now we have the same pattern for the E's, and then we do the same 2 passing notes that we just did before, E, F sharp, back to the G. And then we do 2 more G's, and the last 2 notes are rhythmically a little bit different, but easy. Is D, A. Sorry, A, D. So A, D, and then it repeats again. So let me go ahead and slow it down and do that section, which, by the way, I like to mention in my tutorials. What's the point of the tutorial? Stop it. So play a section, like check it out, stop, press pause, and try to play it yourself. The idea is not to watch the whole tutorial and then try to do a little bit of it. That's not really going to work. So what works is go section by section and try to do it yourself. Almost check out 2 measures, try to play it, check out the other 2. So slowly. First form, I guess I'll do the 8th one. So 2 more D's, passing notes. More E's, passing notes again, 2 more G's, and that's the section for the left hand. So I will practice that extremely slowly, make sure that you are clear on it and that sounds correct. Now the next section, I want to show you a little bit of the chords on the right hand, and I'm actually going to use the keyboard here on the bottom. So let me show you. The first one is going to be a D at 9, so that's going to be A, D, E, and F sharp. Now I'm making some changes. The song has probably like 4 or 5 different keyboard parts, and they're playing like little things. So I think for the purpose of making it sound like the song, I will play the chords as a block. Also, I believe that if you do all the little parts, it can get really confusing when you're doing it with 2 hands. So just to simplify it, first chord on the right hand, A, D, F sharp, D, E, F sharp as a block. Probably with fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 1, 3, 4, and 5. Depending on your age, probably easier 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then next one, we're gonna do G at 9. That's G, A, B, and D. So this is a G major at 9. That's the full name. It probably sounds a little more scary than it is. It's just a G major with an added second, which would be the A. Now we're gonna go to an E minor 7 in inversion. So we're doing G, B, D, and E, and then second chord again, which is the G at 9. So let me just play the right hand to give you a reference, and probably speed it up a little bit. So it's gonna be like this: 8 counts each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And just press it and hold it down for those 8 counts. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Back to the first one. So I think that is pretty much a way to make the song sound the way that it's supposed to. So if I do it with 2 hands, it would sound, let me see if I can start it. So so on. So I do believe that with that you can pretty much play the whole song. It sounds very close to it, especially the left hand. That's what's there on the recording, and then we're kind of like changing a little bit the right hand. So you can play with the singer, or if you can sing it yourself, that can be an option. So as an added bonus to the lesson, I wanted to show you a little bit of what the guitar does in somewhat of, I guess, like almost like the pre-chorus. And this can get a little bit challenging, but I wanted to show you because I think it's a good example of playing something a little bit more advanced. So if you never play these patterns, let me, I guess, show it to you first. Up here, it will be D, A, D. So if you are young and you've never done this, I would almost say practice this multiple times, because this, the way that this is played has several of those notes. And it can get a little bit challenging to play that if you've never done it. But let's go ahead with the pattern. So it's going to be D, A, D, E, D, then A. So if you can see my hands, I'm doing 3 notes with the left hand and then 3 notes with the right hand. So the rhythm of that will be, repeat the same 3 notes, and then it kind of like changes on the way down on the second time. So one time D, A, D, right hand D, E, A, and on the second time we're gonna do D, A, F sharp for the second time. So those 2 measures, and I would practice just this, try to practice it, get it, and then go to the next section. But let's talk about it. So it will be, so you have a couple of options there on fingerings, but I would practice just that with a metronome, go really, really slowly, and try to make sure that that sounds good. The next part, what the guitar is doing is G, D, F sharp, D, B. So it would be G, D, F sharp with the thumb, D with the right hand, B, and immediately after another D over here with the left hand to another 3 times those first 3 notes and a D. So it sounds like this, second section of that part. So that goes, it's almost twice the same thing up and down, but so it's a cool chord. It's technically a G major 7. And right after that, again, you know, pause the video, practice that because it is challenging. We're gonna do E, B, E, D, and B, which makes it an E minor 7. And that kind of like almost repeats twice, so it's this. And then it changes again, so that section that's the E minor. And then it does this passing note to go into the, pretty much is almost the second chord. The song is pretty much made out of 3 chords, so it's D, then G, then E minor, then G again. So we're going back to the G again. So there is a couple of changes there. It's not exactly note for note what the guitar is playing, but it's really close to it. So let me actually go ahead and do it with drums. Again, you know, I would go one section at a time until you get it. So let me show you the complete section with drums so you have an idea. And let me kind of like slow it down a little bit. So that's how it sounds. Fairly challenging if you've never done that position, but I think it's definitely something that you could include into your vocabulary. After that, we go into the chorus, which will be same as we showed you previously in the video. And I do think it's a cool song that gives a little bit of emphasis on the left hand first. And then if you can learn that part, it's cool. One thing that I would like to say, as a musical director, sometimes even you will be asked to play things that were not played on the record on piano, but you don't have a guitar player, and then it's up to you for the piano player to actually play those things. So it's fairly normal to, if you're playing live with an artist, to cover as a keyboard player sounds that were not necessarily played on keyboard or piano originally. So that concludes the tutorial. We hope it was easy to follow along. For another video just like this one, click over here. Also, if you want another video that can help take your skills a little bit further on piano, you can click on this one. We hope to see you guys very, very soon. Take care.